You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife. Lillibet's birthday. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. It might be the case that a friend or family forgets the birthday of your child, doesn't recognise it, doesn't send a birthday card or a present. In some instances, you won't be particularly bothered because you never expected them to do so in the first place. It simply is the case that amongst your friends, you don't acknowledge in that way one another's children's birthdays. In some instances, a precedent might have been set that hitherto the friend has sent a birthday card and a present, and you certainly expect family members to do so in relation to their grandchild or their nephew or their niece. They fail to do so. You don't immediately decide that you're going to lambast them and call them an awful individual and complain to the world at large about such behaviour. Usually you'll wait to see if they correct the failure. It might be that they've been busy in the course of the day and then they turn up in the evening with a card and a present and an apology for not having dropped it round sooner. Sometimes you wait a day or two and then you perhaps might subtly mention it to them. Were you going to send Amy a birthday present? Oh, good Lord, I completely forgot. Terribly sorry. And they remedy it. In some instances, you don't bother. You decide, well, if they've decided against it, so be it. I'm not particularly impressed by the behaviour. I'll make a note and I may respond in kind with regard to their child, or no, I'll rise above it. Because at the end of the day, for whatever reason they've forgotten or decided against it, I'm not going to stoop to their level of behaviour. What you don't do is spend money and ensure that the world knows about the failure to recognise the birthday. You don't do that because you're not a narcissist. But Harry's wife, of course, goes on a different path. L.com, finding itself as one of the supine publications following the spinning of PR puffery, leads in an article by Amy Lutkin with the title, "The Royal Family Chose Not to Post Tributes for Lillibet's Second Birthday." The clear import of this is, what a horrible royal family they are. Now, of course, what they might have done is do something privately. There might have been a telephone call. There might have been gifts and cards that have been sent privately to Lillibet rather than doing so in a public post. This might mark a sea change with regard to what the royal family does. But of course, in the mind of Harry's wife, she expects her daughter to be recognised and lauded, and that her birthday should be the subject of a worldwide appreciation by the royal family. The failure to do so, of course, wounds Harry's wife, although it's in relation to her daughter. Remember, her daughter is an extension of her, when it suits, a little mirror, and therefore a failure to recognise and post a tribute for Lillibet's second birthday is tantamount to failing to do that for Harry's wife, and therefore she's wounded. Some of you might think, well, she's bound to be a bit upset, HG, because after all, this is her daughter, and family members haven't posted a tribute to her, even though they have in the past. But she's not upset in the way that a non-narcissist would be. Although she thinks that's why she's upset, the real reason, because she's a narcissist, is that it tells her that she's not important. By failing to post tribute to Lillibet, it's essentially saying, Harry's wife, you're unimportant, you don't matter, and therefore we're ignoring you. Her narcissism forms that view. Her narcissism interprets it in that manner for the purposes of causing her to then respond to it so that she's moved to nullify the threat to control that is posed by this failure. The article explains, on June the 4th, Harry's wife and Prince Harry's daughter Lillibet Diana celebrated her second birthday in California, where the Duke and Duchess of Sussex make their home. The newly named princess turned 1 year old during her late great-grandmother's Platinum Jubilee last year. Everyone was gathered to honour Queen Elizabeth, who passed away in September 2022, just a few months later. But they still found time to wish Lillibet a happy birthday on social media, with both the Waleses and King Charles posting about the occasion. This year, However, there have not yet been any messages to the Sussex or Lillibet anywhere. Harry and Harry's wife's son Archie celebrated his 4th birthday on May the 6th, which was the same day as King Charles's official coronation. It's not too surprising that things were busy for the royal family that day, but they didn't wish him a happy birthday either. Harry's wife and Harry, however, are planning a party at home with their children and a few close friends, a source told No Idea. No doubt she'll be getting a truckload of presents. Harry's wife has fallen in love with Cartier's absolutely divine music boxes. So Harry's wife, therefore, triangulates people with the Cartier absolutely divine music boxes. I don't suppose a 2-year-old would be that interested in a music box, but this is Harry's wife flaunting her wealth, grandiosity, and triangulating people with a box which apparently costs $3,700. I don't think they're particularly anything special, and I dare say Lillibet, to the extent that she exists, would look at it and think, great, thanks, Mum, I'm really pleased with that present. And she'd probably rather suck on a donut. But, of course, Harry's wife has to ensure that we're made aware of her supposedly exquisite choice and the fact that she's fallen in love with those boxes. Knowing Harry's wife, it's probably an attempt to get Cartier to send one gratis. The article continued by stating, Harry is letting Harry's wife take charge of most of Lily's gifts. Ha! Harry's letting her take charge. He doesn't have a choice in the matter. She takes charge irrespective, otherwise he gets a taser to the pink pods. But he was talking about adding more British books to the nursery that he used to love as a kid, like the Paddington Bear and Frog and Toad series, i.e. ones that he still reads. And according to Express, King Charles will be sending Lillibet a gift, a custom-made cubby house. This is the same style of play toy his sisters had as children. So it's not like the birthday's being ignored, as I suspected it was the case. It's simply that they're not releasing anything publicly about it. The article concludes the royal family has recently acknowledged and included Archie and Lillibet in other ways, updating on the official website that the kids will not be referred to as Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Lillibet of Sussex on formal occasions. Harry's wife, of course, doesn't like the fact that there's no public tribute to them. There's, in all likelihood, already been received a private birthday card and gift, probably sent by various members of the family. Of course, the other members of the royal family could be forgiven for not sending anything at all. After all, they don't get to see the children. When does Charles get to see his grandchildren? When do the Waleses get to see their nephew and niece? They don't. And therefore, they could, and some would say quite justifiably, not send anything along with not acknowledge it. And I suspect what's happening here is in effect a halfway house, which is to say, we won't take it out on the children. They'll still get a gift and a card sent from us. But we're not going to do the public acknowledgement, which of course is what matters to Harry's wife. Archie and Lillibet don't give a fig about whether something's posted on social media about wishing them happy birthday. They probably can't even read it, let alone have any interest in it. But of course it matters to Harry's wife, and therefore King Charles, as a means of cocking a snook at her and threatening her sense of control, does so by not giving her what she wants. And of course, for different reasons, the Waleses don't engage in it, because they're adopting an approach of no involvement with Harry's wife. And therefore, they won't take it out on the children, but they will refrain from interacting with Harry's wife through issuing a public statement, which is what she craves, because, of course, that is an extension of her. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.